Hello friends, my name is Shayla and today I'm here to film a mid-month wrap-up for you. I haven't done a mid-month wrap-up in a really long time just because my reading pace has slowed down, but this month I have been reading very voraciously and I've already read 10 books in the month of July, which is huge even for me. So I'm going to dig into these books. You guys want the details, so let's just dig right in. The first book I'm going to talk about today is The Princess Diaries by Carrie Fisher. This is Carrie Fisher's take on, well, her experiences with the Star Wars franchise. I found this book to be very intriguing. Carrie Fisher has always interested me as a person, and I love that she was Princess Leia, and if the tripod shakes, I'm sorry, it's my cat, because he's decided it's his new toy here for a second. But anyway, so Carrie Fisher. This is definitely, I felt like I could hear her saying everything. I felt like the writing was very indicative of her voice and how she would have just dictated this to someone. And she may have, I don't know all the details. But all I know is I felt like I could hear her saying everything that was written down in this book. April Sarah over on her channel, she enjoyed this book on audio because Carrie Fisher did narrate it. So if you're interested in having her read it to you, go ahead and check out the audiobook. But I found it in written form very, very enjoyable. I ended up giving this book 4 stars. Okay, next up is the most disappointing book I have read this entire year. And that is As Old as Time by Liz Braswell. Just to let you know, I will not be continuing on in this Twisted Tale series. This is book 3 in that series. And I have no intention of continuing in each of these editions in this series. They each take a Disney fairy tale and they twist it on its head. In this one, they ask, what if Belle's mother cursed the beast? This particular twist on the tale, I do not like the way it was executed. I felt like it destroyed the story of Beauty and the Beast. This is the worst Beauty and the Beast retelling I have ever read. And I have no intention of ever reading another one like this again. I guess I'm much more of a purist when it comes to the Beauty and the Beast retelling, unless they say right up front that it's a very loose retelling. But this one was not a loose retelling. They definitely took the Disney story and twisted it, and I did not like what she did with the story. I cannot get behind it at all, and I gave this book 2 stars. I will be unhauling it, and it will not stay on my shelf. These next two kind of go together, and these are my favorite things that I've read so far this month, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and also Days of Blood and Starlight, because once I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I had to immediately go to Amazon and order the next 2 books, and I have already consumed Days of Blood and Starlight. So in this series, we follow Karu and Akiva. Karu is this human girl who lives a very mysterious life with this strange band of characters. It's kind of found family feeling. And then Akiva is this angel who comes to Earth and feels this connection with Karu that he can't explain. So as the story goes on, we learn what connects them and all sorts of other things about this other world of angels and demons. And it is an excellent urban fantasy, so beautifully written. I really have been enjoying my read of these. I've got the 3rd book. I will probably be reading it before the end of the month. And this first book I gave 5 stars, and the second book I gave 4.5 stars. It did suffer a little bit from second book syndrome, but all in all, it was still a solid second novel, and I'm excited for book 3. Next up is a book that I actually did not finish. This is Trusting the Currents by Linda Puleo. In this book, she has this character, for lack of a better description, that this is really hard to describe. Basically, when it comes down to it, there are certain things I feel religiously that did not gel with this book. Like there's some things with ghosts that just didn't quite sit right with me. And it's really hard to explain without giving it away. I have to give props to the author because it was beautifully written. The writing was nice. But when it comes to the story itself, it is not something that I feel like I could connect to at all. And so I've decided to pass this one on. I did not give this one a star rating because I don't feel that's fair to the author when it's just something that I personally couldn't connect to. So I'm going to pass this book on to my library, hoping that somebody else can find joy in this wonderfully written story. The next book I have here is Much Ado About Anne by Heather Vogel Friedrich. This is book 2 in the Mother-Daughter Book Club series. This is just a really fun series about a group of teenage girls and their mothers who all read books together throughout a school year. So each one of these books is about a year's worth of time. In this one, they do the Anne of Green Gables series. It is really fun to see how they pull the stories of Anne and Gilbert into the storyline of their lives, and it is just really fun. I gave this book 3.5 stars. The writing isn't super magnificent, but the stories are really fun and really engaging. Next up is Return to the Secret Garden by Holly Webb. This is a continuation of The Secret Garden, which was a favorite book from my childhood. I found out there was a sequel, and I immediately ran to Amazon to pick it up. And I really enjoyed this story. The way they continued it was beautiful. You're back in the same mansion, in the same gardens. Like, they pay so much homage to the original story that this just made my heart incredibly happy. I ended up giving this book 4.5 stars. It is definitely well written for the age group it is written for, and I do highly recommend it. Next up is a fun little nonfiction I read, and that is The Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hoff. In this book, we talk about how Winnie the Pooh is able to just kind of go through life and just be really chill, and about how we can adapt some of those things that Winnie the Pooh does into our own lives to live a more carefree Winnie the Pooh style life. It's a nice little short book. It's really fun. It's like you're having a conversation with Winnie the Pooh and various other characters in the story, so it is really enjoyable. I ended up giving this book 4 stars, and I do enjoy it. Alright, and these last 2 books also go together, the first being You Are a Badass, and the second being You Are a Badass at Making Money, both by Jen Sincero. These both are nonfiction books. They're in the self-help line of nonfiction, and these are really, really interesting to me. I found that they went together, but they didn't overlap too much, which is really nice in nonfiction because sometimes you'll get things that overlap. So I really enjoyed each of these. I gave 4 stars. I felt like Jen Sincero's writing was very unique. I felt like it wasn't something that I've read in every other self-help book I've ever read. As you can see, I've kind of tabbed the snot out of them. So I did really enjoy these books. If you have not checked these out, I highly recommend you do. I feel like these are great at helping you work on your own mental state of mind when it comes to a lot of things in life. Money, relationships, work, all of it. So I do recommend picking these up. If you haven't, I picked up both of these at Target, so I know they're easily accessible to all of you. So my friends, that is it for this video. Those are the 10 books that I have read so far this month. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite read of this month is so far. And also, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.